Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahushai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahushai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Bahashim, Rachak Kudash. The blessings to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Citations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim, to Sadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled Open AI. This is a dangerous world. We're in dangerous times. This is inspired by the app Sora, which is an open AI system. They have these different open AI things where it's like you could type in a text and it will generate, AI will generate images, again, completely fabricated, completely created, not real images that look hyper realistic. And the technology has evolved so much in a year, at least what they display to the public, that is, you know, if you're not told, yo, this is AI, it could really fool you. You know, and there's times we get a lot into Project Bluebeam and stuff like that, where they could have holograms to replicate real life people. Hell, you have people seeing Michael Jackson and Tupac perform, but it's artificial. It's a laser beam and shit like that. So when you read the comment boards on these videos, one of the biggest things you see is people saying framing. Like, yo, they could frame you. Here we go. They're gonna use Vladimir Putin to create World War III. And in fact, there's a video of Vladimir Putin talking to an AI version of himself. Now, you could distinguish it because it's Putin's voice, but the lips don't match. But again, this is what they're displaying to the public. This is Proverbs 22:3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil." Right. So what's the evil in open AI? Right. Well, framing people. All right. And I did a lesson on this a while back when they had that that Google thing that was having conversation with people to pass. I don't know if it's what. There's a particular test that's called where you use machines to try to fool people, and it has to pass a particular test where people cannot distinguish if it's talking to a real person or not. And people couldn't. They were talking to a machine, but they thought it was a real person. The way it was responding very intuitively, all that. Again, and when that lesson was put together, I said, brothers, you might be thinking you're talking to a brother on the phone, and that might not necessarily be the case. Now with OpenAI, you could think you're on a FaceTime with a brother, and that might not be the case. So that's what I'm saying. Be very prudent in these times. Some of the shit that Esau is going to pull. 2 Corinthians 2:11. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, and Revelations 2:10 tells us he's going to cast some of us into prison. This is why we try our best to be careful with the speech that we use and the language that we use. Why? Because we're in a time when they're going to try to frame people. They're going to be framing brothers, man. All right? Shit, they could take your voice and manipulate it, but now with this open AI shit, that changes the complete game, because visually they could push you something, they could show you something on screen and you think you're looking at something, but you have to have a keen eye to separate the two. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." Right? So the simple in the world, they just like, oh, this is cool, man. Yo, this is cool. Oh man, I don't have to pay for drone shots anymore, because some of the shots that they were getting was better than a professional drone pilot. And again, to me, they even did this one where they typed in like a movie trailer, and this shit looked like a real life person, but it wasn't. It was completely computer generated, man. Look at it. It's called OpenAI Sora OpenAI, and it's text to visual, man. So that's a dangerous thing, man. They could really set some people up with that shit, man. So on top of Esau sending agents to spy out our liberty, now they have artificial intelligence, all right, that could mimic our voice, like literally type in some word and make your voices coming out. And now they got pictures, that video, like, it's like, man, you have to be extra prudent now, man. We have to be very careful of what we say around each other, and some of the things you might see in these last days. We have to be highly skeptical, all right, if it's true or not. Okay, I mean, we were already in that spirit, but now we even have to heighten that even amongst ourselves. You know, it says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." And the same exact sentiment is said in the book of Proverbs 27:12. So I'm not going to read it, but it's the same exact words. What I'm going to do instead is jump to the book of Ephesians 5:15, where it says, See then that ye walk circumspectly. Circular. Spec, to look. So we have to look around, all right? And the scriptures tell us wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that times. So as we approach these end times, you know, and you see some shit that a brother, like, wait a minute, that brother wouldn't say some shit like that. You have to fucking, at this point, almost have a face-to-face, in-person conversation to confirm things, man, all right? Because this devil is he's gonna pull out a bunch of tricks, a bunch of bags, a bunch of shit out of his trick bag, and that leans into his technology. But you know what? This is a form of enchantment, and there's no enchantments against Jacob. So, and you can't do nothing for the truth, only for it, man. So Esau with this bullshit, and wherever he plans to go with this, at the end of the day, the prophets of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, we're gonna be good, man. Psalms 34:7. Angels of the Lord encampeth around those that fear him. Even if this man frames us and puts us in jail, the Most High got us, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua got us. That's why we have to have that wisdom, that stability, and that faith in the Most High. And also, we prepared for this. You know, the fact that the Spirit got me doing this lesson, if it's something that does come to pass, well, we can be like, okay, well, you know, this is something that this is a possibility that we didn't rule out through the Spirit. It says, not as fools, but as wise, right? So we have to use that wisdom, the wisdom of the scripture. What's some of the wisdom of the scripture? Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, man. All right? For as iron rusted, so does his wickedness. So this shit right here, that's some wicked shit, man. This open AI thing where you could just type in something and the AI generated, now there's flaws in it now. There's little giveaways now. But look how far they came within a year, man. From the first Will Smith shit, Will Smith eating spaghetti AI, to now. Shit is wild, man. It's only going to get even more and more hyper-realistic to the point where you won't be able to differentiate, man. Okay? It says, 16 now, redeeming the time because the days are evil, right? Redeeming the time, measuring the times. And how we measuring the times? We're seeing what's going on and how it aligns with prophecies, where we are in terms of prophecy. All roads leads to the RFID microchip, and whether they use manipulation, whether they use force, or whatever they're trying to do, framing, that's where it's going to go to, all right? Because that's the major thing that's going to have to happen before this World War III takes place. And shit, man, look, they're already able to pretty much clone Vladimir Putin and shit. They could pretty much at this point stage a world. They could create a false flag world war if they wanted to, man. All right, launch a missile, have a AI Putin come out and say, "Yo, we declare an attack," and at that point, it's too late to really differentiate what's what. But we know, according to prophecies, all right, that World War III is gonna have to start in the Middle East. Okay, with who? With them so-called Jews, them scumlockites. They're gonna be the ones to kick it off. All right, but what I'm saying now is, as people were saying in the comment boards, they could frame a lot of shit. They could set up a lot of shit right now, man, with that, man. They already got the voice thing down, okay? Well, they could type words, and it's going to be your voice speaking it. Why is that? Why do you think they gather data so much? Why do you think they got people big on selfies? Because every time you take a selfie, it's being saved on some particular database, and they're storing every image, all right? That way they could create those images. They could merge those images and create like a AI version of you, all right? You might say, look, I don't take selfies, but guess what, brothers? We do videos, right? And what else? You on the phone. You could be having a phone conversation with somebody. That's enough for them to have enough data to pick up our voices and shit. So, hey, man, we in some dangerous ass times, man. So, be very, very skeptical, okay? I know the scripture says it's simple, believe every word. So we're not gonna believe. We already know not to believe every word, but I'm just saying now we have to be more, P's and Q's, and really just gear our minds for anything. When it comes to seeing something on the screen, you could gear your mind for anything, man. They could make it look like chariots. They could do chariots AI videos and all that. So even that right now, I don't even get caught up in none of that stuff, like. Because we don't know really what's what, man. We're just going to lean on them prophecies, man. And pray Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua protect us in these days. All right, with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Hashem Rakha Kodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.